Hello, this is Andrew Thake from Minds and Money TV. Today I'm with Jonathan Wiesblatt, CEO of Rockridge Resources. Hello to you, Jonathan.
Good day, Andrew. Thanks for having us.
Hey, great. Can you just tell us a little bit about Rockridge Resources for our listeners who may not be familiar with them?
Sure. So Rockridge Resources is a fairly new organization. We listed on the TSX just a few short years ago. The company has two assets. The first is our flagship asset. It's called Knife Lake. Knife Lake is a VMS copper discovery that is in northern Saskatchewan in very good infrastructure. We're just north of some very high quality resources like the Foran Macavana Bay project. We have about 200 million pounds of copper equivalent at the property and a very exciting current drill program that's taking place at present. The second asset is a high-grade gold project in Ontario in the Timmins mining camp. That is called the Raney Gold Project. We've had some very exciting drilling programs in the past. Most recently, we were drilling the project last year. So two very high-quality exploration projects here in Canada. The strategy is to remain in politically safe jurisdictions and really going into mining jurisdictions that have historical resources that have been underexplored with modern technologies, including geophysics. So that's a bit of a background. The last thing I will say is that the company is fully financed. Just recently did a round of financing back in March, and we have a $13.5 million market cap.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background for your management team, and also a little bit about your background as well, because you were at Sprott Asset Management until recently?
Sure. So let me talk a little bit about the team first. It's an extraordinary team that was put together by the current president and founder, Jordan Tremble. Let's start with Jordan. Jordan has a 15-year history in the resource markets. He's a CFA, sits on the board in Vancouver. Jordan is also the former corp dev manager for a gold company that was acquired back in 2014. So just a tremendous amount of experience in the resource sector. Jordan put together a group of very technically capable and capital markets sophisticated individuals. Rick Kazmersky, who is a former VP exploration manager for Cameco. We have a number of other really interesting individuals on our board and our executive team that are very technically capable. And then there's myself. I've spent the last 15 plus years in the institutional asset management industry, which is not uncommon these days for junior mining companies. I spent 10 years working on a multi-strategy hedge funds as a portfolio manager and an analyst earlier on. And then almost 5 years at Sprott Asset Management, managing the Sprott Canadian Equity Funds, which was formerly managed by Eric Sprott. And then most recently, I spent some time inside one of Canada's largest family offices and helping to steward some of their capital. So I bring a capital markets background, an institutional background, and you can't be managing money in this country, this part of the world, without having a very knowledgeable understanding of the resource markets, in particular the junior resource market. So I am going to be the bridge between Rockridge and the institutional investor base here in North America and abroad.
Mm-hmm. And so what opportunities do you see for Rockridge Resources over the next 12 months?
Sure. So the focus right now is on the exploration program at Knife Lake, which I mentioned was the flagship asset. Copper is trading well above $4.50 per pound. We recently just made an all-time high. The views of the company and my own personally are very bullish on the copper industry and base metals in particular. And so the goal is to, through the drill bit, increase the size of the resource. The flagship property, Knife Lake, it is a remobilized VMS deposit. These deposits typically appear in clusters, and the focus of the exploration program at Knife Lake will really focus on regional targets to the maiden deposit. There has been no historical exploration that's taken place on the property or at the project. So we're super excited about the prospects of making, new discoveries and adding to our global resource base. So the focus is going to be Knife Lake proper, and we still have the optionality of getting back to work at the Raney Gold project, or working on some other type of corporate transaction where that asset is concerned. So the catalyst going forward, exploration results coming from Saskatchewan, and potentially some work that could be done later this year or into next year at Raney.
And in terms of your investor base, what is your investor base like at the moment? Is it kind of mainly Canadian, or like, do you also have investors from around the world?
Right, that's a great question. So historically, it's been mostly a Canadian dominated investor base. But recently, we just did a financing. We raised $2.5 million at 12.5 cents. It was a unit deal, and the interest from outside of Canada was quite remarkable. So a bunch of international funds, institutional investors, have started to add us to their watch list and even participated in the most recent financing. So we had some, sizable U.S. institutional investors that participated in the financing, in addition to some in Europe. Additionally, just a quick shout out to Minds and Money. You guys made very great introductions and connected us to some wonderful global investors, and hopefully that they can participate in our story going forward. So thank you very much for that.
Okay. Well, it sounds like an absolutely great company. I can fully understand why you decided to switch from the buy side to the sell side. And here at Minds and Money, we definitely wish you all the best, Jonathan. That was Jonathan Wiesblatt, CEO of Rockridge Resources.
Thank you very much.